Your fingers are bleeding. You're 40 feet up a wet chalk cliff, rope burning through your palms, and somewhere above you, a German soldier is leaning over the edge with a grenade in his hand. It's 0710. You are 22 years old. Below you, the sea is on fire. Your rope jerks. Someone below you has just been hit. You don't look down. You climb. 6 hours earlier, you're standing on the deck of a British assault craft, and the coast of France is a black line on the horizon. You didn't choose this mission. You volunteered for it. Back at Fort Dix, they asked for men who could climb, swim, and keep their mouths shut. You raised your hand because your older brother didn't come home from Italy, and somebody has to finish it. In your breast pocket is a letter you wrote last night and never sent. It's for your mother. You couldn't find the words to tell her where you're going, so you told her about the weather instead. You read it back twice before folding it small enough to hide. Next to you is Private Nowak, 19, from Chicago, who keeps checking the same buckle on his gear over and over. You've known him 4 months. He talks about a girl back home named Ruth like she's already his wife. He's the closest thing to family you have out here. Your orders are simple and insane. Land under the cliffs, climb them under fire, find the 6 German coastal guns hiding at the top. Destroy them before they can turn the invasion fleet into scrap metal. Nobody has climbed a 100-foot cliff under machine gun fire before. You trained for 6 weeks on the cliffs of England for exactly this morning. You're about to be the first to do it for real. The boat rocks. Somewhere behind you, a man is praying quietly in Polish. You close your eyes for 1 second and think of your mother reading about the weather in Ohio, sitting at the kitchen table, having no idea what today actually is. Then the ramp drops. The plan falls apart in the first 10 minutes. Your landing craft is supposed to hit the beach at 0630, right under the cliffs, hooks firing before the Germans finish rubbing the sleep from their eyes. Instead, the current drags you east. You land nearly 40 minutes late, 400 yards off target, in full daylight, with German gunners staring straight down at you the whole way in. Every extra minute is a minute they use to aim. One of your boats, LCA-860, goes down before it even reaches sand. It's carrying half your climbing gear. The men who trained with those ropes for 6 weeks now have nothing but their hands and whatever's left. You improvise. Rocket launchers bolted to the sides of the DUKW's fire grappling hooks trailing rope up toward the cliff edge. Half the ropes are soaked through from the crossing, heavier than anyone accounted for. They fall short, thudding uselessly onto the beach. A few hooks catch stone or scrub grass at the top. You grab one and pray it holds. There's a ladder too, an extension ladder, borrowed from a London fire truck, bolted onto a Duku that's now stuck in the sand and rocking under fire. Someone's actually standing on top of it, swaying nearly 100 feet up, firing a Tommy gun straight at the cliff edge like it's the most normal thing in the world. You start climbing your rope. Below you, Nowak is climbing the same line, 10 feet down, breathing hard enough that you can hear it over the gunfire. Halfway up, your rope goes slack. Cut. You slam against the chalk face, catch a handhold with your bleeding fingers, and keep going. Chunks of chalk explode near your head where bullets strike the cliff instead of you. This is the part nobody puts in the recruiting posters. Most of you climbed with no training accident to blame for the ropes failing. Just seawater, gravity, and men above you trying to kill you before you reach the top. You reach the edge. You pull yourself over into a shell crater and lie there for 1 second, chest heaving, alive, the sound of your own pulse louder than the battle. Nowak's rope is empty. You don't have time to think about that. The top of the cliff is a moonscape. Naval shells fired ahead of the landing have torn it apart. Craters everywhere, some deep enough to hide a jeep, no trees left standing. You move toward the gun positions in short bursts. Fire, move, fire, move. Your squad is down to a handful of men. Radios are dead or soaked through. You have no contact with the fleet, no contact with command. You are entirely on your own, 100 feet above the sea, on foreign soil, hunting artillery that could sink half the invasion. You reach the first casemate. Heart pounding, rifle up. You clear the doorway the way you were trained, fast, low, ready. It's empty. Not damaged, not destroyed. Empty. The guns aren't here. Somewhere in your gut, dread replaces adrenaline. 6 weeks of training. Half your unit gone getting up this cliff, and the guns you came to kill might not even be at Pointe du Hoc anymore. You check the next casemate. Empty too. Telephone poles are propped up inside one, painted to look like gun barrels from a distance. You have maybe 90 men left who can still fight. The Germans know exactly where you are, and the real fight hasn't even started yet. 2 of your sergeants, Lell and Kuhn, slip away from the position with a small patrol, moving inland alone, off the map, hunting for the guns by instinct alone. No orders authorizing it, no backup plan if they're wrong. Just 2 men and a hunch about a sunken farm road half a mile past the German lines. You hold the cliff position with what's left of your company. The counterattacks start within the hour. Germans coming from the tree line, from the flanks, probing your line again and again, testing where it's weakest, pulling back, then coming again. You're rationing ammunition by nightfall. Every round counts, every man counts. You find yourself doing math you never wanted to learn. Bullets left, hours left, men left standing. Then word comes back, quiet, almost unbelievable, passed man to man along the line. Lell and Kuhn found them, the guns, hidden in an orchard, camouflaged under netting, unguarded, aimed and ready to fire on the beaches below. 2 sergeants with thermite grenades melted the gun sights and firing mechanisms on all 5 working guns themselves, alone, before the Germans even knew they were there. You don't feel like celebrating. You're too tired, too raw, too aware of how many faces from this morning's boat aren't around the fire tonight. For the next 2 days you hold this cliff. No relief, no resupply. German counterattacks come again and again, sometimes twice in a single night, and each time your line gets thinner. You sleep in shifts, if you sleep at all, waking to gunfire instead of an alarm. You stop counting the hours and start just counting the men still breathing next to you. By the time reinforcements finally break through on June 8th, of the 225 Rangers who climbed that cliff, fewer than 100 can still hold a rifle. No whack doesn't make it. You carry that the rest of your life, the 10 feet of rope between you, the buckle he kept checking, the girl named Ruth who never got the letter he was writing in his head. The letter in your pocket, the one about the weather, finally gets sent 3 days later, hands still shaking as you write the date at the top. Your mother will read it not knowing how close it came to never arriving at all, not knowing what those calm words about English rain were really covering. You survive the cliff, survive the counterattacks, survive the sea and the chalk, and the silence afterward. You'll go on to fight through the hedgerows of Normandy in the weeks that follow, carrying this day with you the way every survivor carries the men who didn't get to. Pointe du Hoc becomes a name in history books, a cliff tourists will one day photograph on a quiet afternoon. To you, it's never a name. It's just the place you lost your friend and somehow lived. 225 men climbed that cliff for a mission that almost didn't need to happen. The guns had already moved. But they didn't know that when they started climbing, and they climbed anyway. Tomorrow, we go to the other side of that same beach, into a German bunker on the Atlantic Wall, and live the day through the eyes of the man who was waiting for you at the top.